Hello everyone, my name is Hanay Grace Yakapan from BSED Filipino 2A, and I am here together with Miss Vilon and Miss Remontal, and we will be reporting about the school culture. At the end of this video, we will be able to know, or we will be able to answer the following: what are the meaning of culture, what are the classifications of culture, what are the characteristics of culture, and what are the functions and elements of culture, and what are the relationships between culture and society. Enjoy watching!
Good day everyone, I am Rosemary Vilon, and my assigned topic is all about the meaning of school culture and the classification of culture. So what is the school culture? School culture refers to the way teachers and other staff members work together and the set of beliefs, values, and assumptions they share. So ito ay tumutukoy sa mga paniniwala, pananaw, ugali, ugnayan sa pagitan ng mga stakeholders sa paaralan. Nai-impluwensyahan din ito ang bawat desisyon at pagkilos ng isang paaralan, mula sa estilo ng pamumuno ng mga punong guro hanggang sa paraan ng pagpili ng mga guro, sa materyales, sa kurikulum at sa pagpapagpunayan sa mga mag-aaral. So yun ang meaning ng school culture. So let's proceed to the classification of culture. So culture was divided into two types by famous sociologists that such as material culture and non-material culture. So material culture consists of products of human activity, which is concrete, tangible, and observable. These objects are then made and put as artifacts. This material culture are external and utilitarian. Material culture is invented for human convenience. They contribute to the progress of society. It changes faster. So, ang material culture is deliver siya sa mga butang na ginabuhat sa mga tao which is ginabuhat sa tao which is tangible. Tangible means kanang makita nato o kanang mahawiran nato. O kaning mga butang is ang example ani is books, chairs, telephones, furniture, tools, and tables. Muna siya mga halimbawa sa mga material culture na ato ang nakakita everyday. And kining material culture is kanang external and utilitarian. It is external because nakakita nato siya sa nasa sa gawas, nasa sa ato ang gawas sa palibot. Ato siyang always makita o makahawalan ng mga butang. And it is utilitarian because dili lang kay design siya, kundi na siya'y purpose o na useful kay ni siya sa kinabuhi sa tao. Mong nahimo ni because for human convenience. Og dako kay ni og nakatabang sa pag kalambuan sa isa ka society. And then this material culture changes faster. And the second type of culture is the non-material culture. Non-material culture consists of intangible things and abstract things like customs, values, goodwill, beliefs, and language. Non-material culture is something internal and they don't have physical existence. So, ang kining non-material culture is kabalik na rin siya sa material culture. Kining ang non-material culture is kung siya refer siya sa mga butang na dili nato makita o mahawalan. It is something internal and they don't have physical existence. It is because kining nga mga butang is dili nato makita o mahawalan. Walay physical existence. Dili nato makita sa ato ang palibot unlike sa material culture. Unlike sa material culture, say for example, the values, beliefs, religions, and education. Diba? Dili man jud nato ni gakakita, wala sila physical existence. Like it is within ourselves. Sa ato unang-una lang, but it is something nga pwede siya makita. Pwede nato siya makita. Kay reflect man siya sa isa nature sa isa ka tao and this type of culture changes very slowly. And this non-material culture has two aspects such as normative and normative aspects. Normative aspects is, cognitive aspects deals with knowledge, whereas normative aspects consist of norms, rules, and values. So that is the non-material culture and the material culture.
Hello everyone, good day. I am Honey Grace Yakapan from BSED Filipino 2A, and I am here to discuss about the characteristics of culture. So what are the characteristics of culture? Number 1, culture is acquired. Culture is an acquired quality or behavior. It is not biologically inherited but learned socially by individuals. So ang culture is wala siya naka-built-in sa tuwa when we are born. Ang culture is na-learn na to siya socially, depende sa mga nakasalamuha nato nga tao. Number 2, culture is social. Culture is not individual but social in nature. Number 3, culture is submissive. Culture is transmitted from one generation to another. It passes from parents to children and so on. This transmission is continuous and spontaneous process. For example, is when I learn some culture, mapasa na ko na siya sa akong anak, sa akong grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Dili siya magstay sa ako alang. Number 4, culture fulfills some needs. Culture fulfills many social, psychological, moral, and needs of individuals. Culture is created and maintained because of different needs. It fulfills needs of both society as well as individuals. Number 5, culture is shared. Culture is not possessed by a single or few individuals. Culture is shared by majority of individuals. So for example, I have learned some culture, dili lang siya sa ko alam. Kana nga culture is na-learn na siya sa entire society. Wala lang siya sa ko alam. Culture is idealistic. Culture is idealistic in nature. Culture is accumulative. Culture is not created in one day or 1 year. It gradually accumulates through centuries. For example, the beliefs, arts, morals, knowledge are gradually stored up and became part of culture. Hence, culture is the social heritage. So culture, number 8, culture is adaptive. Culture possesses adaptive capacity. It is not static, it undergoes changes. So ang usa ka culture is dili lang siya mag-stay. For murag pod siya Android phones nga ga-upgrade pod siya, wala siya nag-stay, na siya mga changes. Culture is organized. Culture has an order or system. As Taylor says, culture is a complex whole. It means different parts of culture are well organized into a cohesive whole. Different parts of culture is organized into a cohesive whole. Different parts of culture is organized in such a way that any change in one part brings corresponding changes in other parts. Culture is communicative. Man makes and uses symbols. He also possesses capacity of symbolic communication. Culture is based on symbol and it communicates through different symbols. Language is the chief vehicle of culture. Culture is transmitted from one generation to the next. It never remains static. This transmission became possible through language. Culture is learned through language. So for example, when I go to the other society, akong na-learn is inana ang culture. Ma-learn na ko ang ilahang culture through the language nga ilang gamiton. For example, dili po ko makasabot sa ilang language nga naggamiton, dili ko maka-learn sa ilahang culture. So culture, lastly, is culture is the total heritage. We know culture is a social product. It is linked with the past. So the transmission, past continues to live in the culture. It is shared by all.
Hello everyone, I am Margot Sirimantel and I am the third reporter. So my discussion is about the functions of culture. So what are the functions of culture? Here are some few functions of culture. First is culture serves as a way to view the world and guide people's behavior according to their dominant culture. Second, culture strengthens bonds with people. Third, also functions as a set of guidelines or traditions in families, schools, or other groups. And also, culture functions as a way of bringing a group of people with similar interests, backgrounds, and beliefs together while shaping their views in the world. Culture works as an identifier or marker for individuals. It can be either a positive or a negative dividing factor, or it can simply be a way to recognize groups of people. Culture brings like-minded people together and affects their outlook of life. Moving on, we will have the elements of culture. First element of culture is symbol. Every culture is filled with symbols or things that stand for something else and that often evoke various reactions and emotions. Some symbols are actually types of nonverbal communications, while other symbols are in fact material objects. So, first example is the nonverbal communication. A nonverbal communication. Next is values. Values are another important element of culture and involve judgment of what is good or bad and desirable or undesirable. A culture values shape its norms. In Japan, for example, a central value is group harmony. The Japanese place great emphasis on harmonious social relationship and dislike interpersonal conflict. So in others, they have the object as a symbol, a symbolic view or symbolic value for religious reasons. Three of the most familiar religious symbols in many nations are the cross, the Star of David, and the crescent moon, which are widely understood to represent Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, respectively. Next is the language. Most important element of culture is language. Language is a crucial to communication and thus to any society's culture. As the scenario suggests, language is crucial to communication as thus to any society's culture. Children learn language from their cultures just as they learn about shaking hands, about gestures, and about the significance of the flag and other symbols. Humans have capacity for language that no other animal species possesses. Our capacity for language in turn to help make our complex culture possible. So third is the norms. Culture differ widely in their norms or standards and expectations for behaving. Norms are often divided into two types, formal norms and informal norms. So one example of formal norms formal norms refers to the standard of behavior considered the most important in any society. So this includes the criminal laws, the traffic laws, or all laws that can provide a peace to a community. Next is informal norms, also called as folkways and customs. This refers to the standards of behavior that are considered less important but still influence how we behave, such as table manners are a common example of informal norms, as are such everyday behaviors as how we interact with a cashier and how we ride in an elevator. Different cultures also have different rituals or established procedures and ceremonies that often mark transitions in the life course. As such, rituals both reflect and transmit a culture, norms, and other elements from one generation to the next. Graduation ceremonies in college and universities are examples of time-honored rituals. Next is values. Values are another important element of culture and involve judgment of what is good or bad and desirable or undesirable. A culture values shape its norms. In Japan, for example, a central value is group harmony. The Japanese place great emphasis on harmonious social relationship and dislike interpersonal conflict. Individuals are fairly unassertive by American standards. Lastly is artifact, the last element of culture, or material objects that constitute a society's material culture. In the most simple societies, artifacts are largely limited to a few tools, the huts people live in, and the clothing they wear. Now we will move on to the relationship between society and culture. A culture represents the beliefs and practices of a group, while society represents the people who share those beliefs and practices. Neither society nor culture could exist without the other. Can we separate culture and society? Society is any group of people who tend to share the same rigid, biological, and cultural characteristics and have the same system of behavior and action. Therefore, society cannot separate from its own culture simply because the culture makes it what it is. That's all for my report. Thank you.